Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, Chapter 16. Through the Trapdoor. In years to come, Harry would never quite remember how he had managed to get through his exams when he half expected Voldemort to come bursting through the doors at any moment. Yet the days crept by, and there could be no doubt about Fluffy was still alive and well behind the locked door. It was welting hot, especially in the large classroom where they did their written papers. They had been given special new quills for the exams, which had been bewitched with an anti-cheating spell. They had particularly exams as well. Professor Flitwick called them one by one into his class to see if they could make a pineapple tap dance across the desk. Professor McGonagall watched them turn a mouse into a snuff box. Points were given for how pretty the snuff box was, but taken away if it has whiskers. Snape made them a nervous breathing down their necks while they tried to remember how to make a forgetfulness potion. Harry did the best he could, trying to ignore the stabbing pains in his forehead, which had been bothering him ever since his trip into the forest. Neville thought Harry had a bad case of exam nerves because Harry couldn't sleep. But the truth was that Harry kept being woken by his own nightmares, except what it was now, worse than ever because there was a hooded figure dripping blood in it. Maybe it was because they haven't seen that Harry had seen it in the forest, or because they didn't have scars burning on their foreheads, but Ron and Hermione didn't seem as worried about the stone as Harry. The idea of Voldemort certainly scared him, but he didn't keep visiting them in dreams. And they were so busy with their study, they didn't have much time to fret about what Snape or anyone else might be up to. Their very last exams were history of magic. 1 hour of answering questions about Betty Old Wizard who's invented self-stirring cauldrons, and they'd be free for a whole wonderful week until their exams results came out. When the ghost of Professor Beans told them to put down their quills and roll up their parchment, Harry couldn't help cheering with the rest. "That was far easier than I thought it would be," said Hermione, as they joined the crowd flocking out of the study grounds. I needn't have learning about the 1637 werewolf codes of conduct or praising Elfric the Eager. Hermione always liked to go through their exam paper after work, but Ron said this made him feel ill, so they wandered down to the lake and flopped under a tree. The Weasley twins and Lee Jordan was tickling the tentacles of a giant squid, which was basking in the warm shallows. "No more studying," Ron sighed happily, stretching out of the grass. "You could look more cheerful, Harry." We've got a week before we find out how badly we've done. There is no need to worry yet." Harry was rubbing his forehead. "I wish I knew what that means," he burst out angrily. "My scars keep hurting. It's happened before, but never as often as this." "Go to Madame Pomfrey," said Hermione. "I'm not ill," said Harry. "I think it's a warning. Danger's coming." Ron couldn't get worked up. It was too hot. "Harry, relax. Hermione's right. They don't safe as long as Dumbledore's around. Anyway, we've never had any proof Snape found out how to get past Fluffy. He nearly had his snake leg chipped off once. He's not going to try it again in a hurry. And Neville will play Quidditch for England before Hagrid lets Dumbledore down." Harry nodded, but he couldn't shake off a lurking feeling that there was something he'd forgotten to do, something important. When he tried to explain this, Hermione said, "That's just an exam. I woke up last night and was halfway through my Transfigurations note before I remembered we'd done that one." Harry was quite sure the unsettled feeling didn't have anything to do with work, though. He watched an owl flutter toward the school across the bright blue sky, a note crumpled in its mouth. Hagrid was the only one who ever sent him letters. Hagrid would never bear to Dumbledore. Hagrid would never tell anyone how to get past Fluffy. Never, but... Harry jumped to his feet. "Where are you going?" said Ron sleepily. "I've just thought of something," said Harry. He had turned white. "We've got to go and see Hagrid now." "Why?" panted Hermione, hurrying to keep up. "Do you think it's a bit odd?" said Harry, scrambling up the grassy slope. "That what Hagrid wants more than anything else is a dragon, and a stranger turns up who just happened to have an egg in his pocket. How many people wander around with dragon eggs in it against Wizard's law? Lucky they found Hagrid, don't you think? Why didn't I see it before?" "What are you talking about?" said Ron. But Harry, sprinting across the grounds toward the forest, didn't answer. Hagrid was sitting in an armchair outside his house. His trousers and sleeves were rolled up, and he was jelling peas into a large bowl. "Hello," he said, smiling. "Finish your exams? Got time for a drink?" "Yes, please," said Ron, but Harry cut him off. "No, we're in a hurry, Hagrid. I've got to ask you something. You know that night you won Norbert. What did the stranger you were playing cards with look like?" "Dunno," said Hagrid coldly. He wouldn't take out his clothes off. He saw the three of them look stunned and raise his eyebrow. "It's not that unusual, yeah. Get a lot of funny folk in Househead. That one, the Fluff, down in the village, might have been a dragon dealer, mightn't he? I've never saw his face. He kept his hood up." Harry sank down next to the bowl of peas. "What did you talk to him, Hagrid? Did you mention Hogwarts at all?" "Might have come out," said Hagrid, frowning as he tried to remember. "Yeah, he asked what I did, and I told him I was a gamekeeper," he asked a bit about the sort of creature I looked after. So I told him, and I said what I'd always really wanted was a dragon, and then I can't remember too well, 'cause he kept buying me drinks. Let's see, yeah. Then he said he had the dragon egg, and we could play cards for it if I wanted. But he had to be sure I could handle it. He didn't want it to go to any old home. So I told him about Fluffy. A dragon would be easy. And did he? Did he seem interested in Fluffy? Harry asked, trying to keep his voice calm. Well, yeah. How many three-headed dogs do you meet, even around Hogwarts? So I told him, Fluffy, a piece of cake, if you know how to calm him down. Just play him a bit of music, and he'll go straight off to sleep. Hagrid suddenly looked horrified. I shouldn't tell that, he burst out. Forget I said it. Hey, where are you going? Harry, Ron, and Hermione didn't speak to each other until they came to a halt in the entrance hall, which seemed very cold and gloomy after the grounds. We've got to see Dumbledore, said Harry. Harry told that stranger how to catch Fluffy, and it was either Snape or Voldemort under the cloak. It must have been easy once he got Hagrid drunk. I just hope Dumbledore believes us. Friends might back up if Bane doesn't stop him. Where's Dumbledore's office? They looked around, as if hoping to see a sign pointing him in the right direction. They had never been told where Dumbledore lived, nor did they know anyone who had been sent to him. We just have now to Harry began, but a voice suddenly rang across the hall. What are you three doing inside? It was Professor McGonagall carrying a large pile of books. We want to see Professor Dumbledore, said Hermione rather bravely. Harry and Ron thought, see Professor Dumbledore, Professor McGonagall repeated, as though this was a very fishy thing to want to do. Why? Harry swallowed. Not now what? It's sort of secret, he said, but he wished at once he hadn't, because Professor McGonagall's nose still freaked. Professor Dumbledore left 10 minutes ago, she said coldly. He received an urgent owl from Ministry of Magic and flew off for London at once. He's gone? Said Harry frantically. No, Professor Dumbledore's a great wizard, Potter. He has many demands on his time, but this is important. Something you have to say is more important than the Ministry of Magic, Potter. Look, said Harry, throwing cautions to the winds. Professor, it's about the Sorcerer's Stone. Whatever Professor McGonagall had expected, it wasn't that. The books she carried trampled out of her arms, but she didn't pick them off. How do you know? She sputtered. Professor, I think I know that someone's going to try and steal the stone. I've got to talk to Professor Dumbledore. She eyed him with a mixture of shock and suspicion. Professor Dumbledore will be back tomorrow, she said finally. I don't know how you found out the stone, but rest assured, no one can possibly steal it. It's too well protected.